So, as we know, both of you are, I want to say, founding fathers and mothers of the Bravo network. Y'all are really, involved in making Bravo kind of what it is today. And Jeff, you are kind of going back home to Bravo. You announced last year that you have a project that you are going to be doing with Bravo. And we took some questions on Instagram, which I'm going to filter in throughout our conversation. But a lot of people want to know what's the latest and what can you talk about? And are you excited?
Sure. I mean, it's been a while. I mean, I had left Bravo, and I don't want to pretend like, oh, I decided to spend more time with my family. No, they didn't renew my contract, and which,
You know what that feels like.
and so I spent about 6 months at Netflix throwing around some ideas. That didn't really pan out exactly. So then I went over to Amazon, and I did a show with them that was 2 seasons. That show was canceled because they're restructuring Amazon Freevee. So while all this was going on, I still stayed in contact with all of the Bravo, not only talent, but executives as well. And I'm so glad because I had burned a few bridges, but I didn't burn the house down. And I was angry at the time when they did not renew the contract. I didn't like the reasoning behind it. And it wasn't that there was low ratings or that people lost interest. It was the Bravo executives who felt the show could not go on without Jenny. And I disagreed, and I actually proved them wrong because I went and did another show without Jenny that was very successful. So I didn't really like the reasoning for it. And I don't know if they really understood exactly what I did to make that show work. I mean, I always made sure that I was really busy. I had a lot of clients. I had a lot of projects. I staffed up. All of this was at my expense. And, Jenny was a great employee, and she was my co-star, and she helped build the show, what it became. But, what happened was inevitably we grew apart, and our goals they no longer aligned. And it just made sense for us to separate. And I think if you're really following reality, that's what they should have continued. How's Jeff going to manage his life and his business without Jen? And I thought that would have been very interesting. But in hindsight, they say that things happen for a reason. My world kind of collapsed. I mean, a lot of things went wrong. My grandmother died, and I went through a lawsuit. I had the IRS. My ex and I broke up. Like all kinds of things. I swear, everything just happened at once. I don't know if that would have been the best look for me had we continued. And especially after my 10-year relationship ended, I was spiraling. I mean, I was self-destructing. If you thought, old Jeff, 2009 flipping out was bad, it was bad. And I think in many ways I was saved. There might have been behavior I could not have come back from.
Wow.
And at that time, while all of this was collapsing, my world was collapsing around me, I did dive into some very deep therapy, which I think helped me immensely. And it wasn't just for me. It was at the time, I think my primary motivation was I wanted to be my best self for my daughter. And so I think that was a lot of the motivation to work with the therapist, figure out my issues, and grow and learn from those things. So long story long, I was initially angry with Bravo. I did take some public swipes at them, nothing that I couldn't come back from. But I'm glad that I didn't burn the house down completely, because when the Amazon show had ended, I was at I forgot what party I was. I was I know what it was. I was at BravoCon, and of the network came over, and she said to me, "Hey, a couple of years had gone by. The door is always open when you're ready to come back." And at the time, it was with Amazon. So I said, "Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate that, but I'm very happy with the show that I'm doing." And then over the next 12 months, the show got canceled. And Andy asked me, I think you were asked to go too, the 15-year Watch What Happens Live anniversary. And party afterwards. So I did that show. Thank God I went. And I went to the cocktail party, and there was Frances. And I walked right up, not my tail between my legs, but again, closed mouths don't get fed. So I walked right up to her and I said, "Hey, remember a year ago you said the door was always open? Well, I need a job." And the next day, development called me, and we have been working on developing a show together, which would basically be the Flipping Out sequel. And what we're doing now is it's a whole different cast. So what Bravo wants to know is like, hey, if we're going to buy this show and we're going to invest in you, who's on this show? We've spent the last, how long, Shane? Month? We've been putting the cast, what would be the cast, which is the people in my life, my employees, my radio co-hosts, my family, on tape. And so that tape is now being sent to Bravo, and then they'll elect whether they want to move forward or not.
Okay.
Right. Very good. That's very organic and very natural, and I'm so proud of you. Follow